This is Damon Stephens with FinWealth Builders. Today is Sunday, May 22nd, 2022, and this is your Sunday prep for this week coming up, as well as a little bit of a review of Friday and last week. If you think Friday was flat, if you look at the open of the market versus the close, you might think, hey, nothing happened on Friday, but boy, it was nothing but there was so much action going on. If you liked shorting the market, you got it right up front, right through the middle of the day. If you like rallies and you like to buy the bottom of the market and back up, you got that as well at the end of the day. Boy, it's just we got swings in both directions. And we talked about that on Thursday, that it was options expiration week and Friday was the day, and it did not disappoint. In fact, it was interesting. The market actually was very rewarding to those who had shorted the market. So typically, the Max Payne chart that we go over usually shows, at least for this last week, that the higher was better. But we ended up seeing that the market actually rewarded those who actually were afraid and shorted the market. But we'll take a look at that as we get into details and see what that means for possibly this week as well. So let's get right into it. So looking at the charts here, you can see the Dow Jones closed up 0.03%. You can see a nice downward momentum down to lows. We got new lows again on Friday in the market, and then a nice rally up here to get us right out of the bear, just barely out of the bear area category as far as it relates to the overall market. But boy, just nice direction, nice rally both directions. So NASDAQ closed up down 0.3% and S&P 500 down 0.01%. You see across the board, as far as the heat map, very mixed across the board. Tesla took a little bit of a hit, so did NVDA a little bit, but overall just kind of a mixed bag there. And then as far as scanning, nothing really on the scanners itself. There's one that we just continue to take advantage of and scalp, but that one, eventually might come off the list. But for now, continue to give us something every day, even if it's $1. And that stock is right here. It's BERU. You see this just continues to kind of chop at this range here. You see that we kind of spiked back up again last week. The high was on Wednesday. On Friday, we came down below and a little bit lower, but you can see this candle that you had, pretty good movement, from the bottom, around 1250, clear up to the top here around 1450. So about $2 move on a very inexpensive stock. So really give you a great advantage if you're, wanting to take advantage of something like that. We are headed in downward movement, so definitely keep that in mind. The 20 is probably where we're going to check in, possibly again. So just be aware of that. I know there's a lot of people shorting this stock. If you're shorting, just be careful, because this could rally back up here. You see where we kind of had a little bit of a pullback and a spike, but then eventually did pull back here. So just something to be aware of with this stock. So here's our fear and greed. So you can see that extreme fear just continues to settle in. So that's to be expected. Looking at our open interest here. So this is the Max Payne. So this shows everything is the red is how many the volume in puts, people shorting the market on the S&P 500, and the green is everybody who's buying calls. And here's the strike prices here. And so if you look at how do you help people make people lose the most and return the most back to those options sellers, Max Payne would be 405. So that means a little bit of a rally would have to happen if you want to create some pain. But you can see the puts on the put side, there's just a ton of them. So still a lot more downward movement expected on the S&P 500. So just something to be aware of. But we did close out, 392.84 where we're at kind of right now. So we'll see, do we reward everybody at the end of this week with the market coming down, or do we get a relief rally up towards at least, this Max Payne area 405 to kind of, shut everybody out? So just something to be aware of. Earnings. So here's our next earnings reports coming up this next week here. A little bit busier, especially on Thursday. Thursday is going to be a great day. We have Zoom and XPeng on Monday. We have Best Buy, Nordstrom's on Tuesday, Dick's Sporting Goods, NVIDIA, Splunk Box, and NVIDIA is one of our core that we can, continue to trade, whether it's going up or down. So just something to be aware of. Bob is another one as well. So got a lot of things, moving here this week. So expect a lot of volatility. Interesting with all these additional retail companies coming out last week is horrible. We had our seventh straight week down in the market. And so do we go for number 8? It's very unusual to get to this level without having some type of relief rally. So just be aware that, we could all of a sudden have a relief rally that could have bounced us up. So just something to be aware of, but we'll watch the price action. I think as we get into midweek, we'll probably have a better idea as far as kind of the overall feeling of the market. All right, so looking at our core charts here, so Apple came down on Friday, bounced, just spiked the 100-day moving average and bounced back off. This one is this is what I want to watch to see, do we get possibly a rally here started at some point? And you see here the 100, is where we bounced back here in 2019 in June. And when we came back to it, in March of 2020, we got to bounce off that 100. And then it really hasn't come down to the 100 until now. And then we spiked a little bit and then we bounced off and we're just right above the 100. So does that mean that this is kind of the next bounce place, the next move up as it was before? It's possible. So, watch this level. If we break, this 137 level, then you can look for a play down, possibly down to, 112, 110. But if we hold above here and bounce off here, we, expect at least a short-term rally up here as we have in the past. All right, so Tesla. So this is on a weekly chart as well. So weekly is the best way to find kind of where we're at since we're already below the 200-day moving average on most of the daily charts. So on Tesla, you can see here we broke that 100. We broke it on Thursday, but we spiked back up. Friday, we broke it again, but we didn't get back above it. On the close, you can see we're kind of in this consolidation range that we had in the past. If we can't recover, back over 700, very well we could come back down and test some of these areas that's around this 550 area, 546, 540. That would be the next level in the sand. And if not, then you have the 200-day moving average down here as well. So look for some downside if we can't, if the VIX won't come down and we don't get a relief rally this week. But we're expected to have something. Hopefully, normally something comes around shortly as far as a rally, but doesn't mean it's going to happen this time. NVDA. So here's the weekly chart as well. You can see kind of bounces spiked right here. This is kind of where we broke out before. And almost to this level here, this 147 area. So we're kind of in that range right now. So looking for a bounce here. If we break below this, this 160 level, we're probably come down at least to 140, maybe even down to 120. So just something to be aware of. So definitely NVIDIA continues to show weakness. Facebook's just kind of consolidating in this area, trying to, get some momentum going here. But it came down, spiked our, our line down here. This is our lower trend line. You can see that it held support here before, back in December 2018, held it in 2020, and now here we spiked it this week and held it as again. So that's strong for Facebook to be able to hold this and consolidate, but it also could be put in a little bear flag, could come down lower. But I like that it spiked and came off of that off of the trend line, because you see that every time it did that before, we kind of had a little at least short-term rally off of this. So looking for a possibility there. RK, we keep this on our radar. We were just down here in this zone here. So this really has just kind of come down, really gotten beat up. So just looking, for continued play on RK once it's ready to kind of recover, and we know that we got the bottom in. So just something to be aware of, something definitely tracking. So BURK B. So I put BURK back on here. We were trade watching this one, back here when it was on its run. And then it kind of topped out in the last several weeks. It's been coming back down. We're right at the 50-day moving average. So you can see here, it kind of bounced here back in November 2020 off the 50-day moving average. So just looking to see, do we get another play off of here, possibly get a bounce. If we break below this, 300 level, look for continuation play down, maybe to 275, 276. If we can bounce back off here, then look at resistance at, around 320 and see if we can get through that. If so, maybe we can go towards highs again. But Okay, if this one does tank, this, very much like Apple, if Apple keeps coming down, it could bring the overall market down. So watching this one as well for potential plays, since this is an important stock in the S&P 500. So continue to like our videos and subscribe if you haven't, and definitely, let us know how we're doing and what we can do to help you. Again, we want to build this community up and share with you what we're working on, what we're doing, how we see the market, and make sure we can make some money together. So definitely join us. Dollar index, you can see here, it's kind of pulled back. It's sitting below that 20 for 3 days now. So just kind of consolidating there. It really kind of looks like a bear flag for a pull down, probably down, to at least the 101.40 area, which is where the 50-day moving average is. So look for possible pullback there on the dollar. The VIX kind of spiked down, came off the highs and spiked down, but still kind of elevated. Really want this to pull down under, down to, at least, down $25. So the VIX is still elevated. So just something to be aware of. Definitely watch any type of spikes up to the upside. Expect some lower lows to come into the market. So this is a SPY on a daily chart. You can see here, it's a nice tight just drop here in the market. And you see that we kind of dropped down to a new support level, and then we just and then we kind of bounced. So this is this is the last big breakout area that we have on this chart here. It's kind of where we're at now. So looking for a continuation play in the SPY here. So we'll see if we get a bounce here and maintain that. If we break down, then we just continue down this path which we're currently on, which would be a short on the market. Triple Q, same tight, nice and tight coming down here. Spiked our support lines, both of them. Came back up here. So we'll see if we can hold. You can see back here where that support was before. It's 295 area. So looking for this to, play a role of support here for the market. Semiconductors, just kind of consolidating down here. So, we bounced off the 20 back down. So, possibly can pull back here, but this might just become range bound. Really overall, this whole market can become range bound very easily. So just something to be aware of. IWM just trying to rally back up here. So it failed. It really needs to get back over this 20 at 188, 183 to kind of run. No, it'll probably continue to come down. XLF, so financials bounced off our support line down here twice and is trying to make a run up. So we'll see how it does. But look for a play eventually the 20-day either come up here and bounce off the 20-day moving average and pull back down possibly, or the 20s can come down and greed at some point here in the next week. XLV, so healthcare, it tried to get above that 200-day and the 20. You see they're kind of consolidating right here. That's a lot of resistance and bounced off with. So we'll see if it can make it. But that is a pretty hefty push to get through that 20-day moving average, and you got the 200-day moving average there as well. Energy sector, we got that high in there, pull back off the 20, bounce off the 20, back up towards. So we'll see if we can get a continuation play, back into 84 area or maybe even 85, 86. Gold, nice pullback here, came up, it's meeting the 20 and the 200-day moving average. So look for a possible pullback here to this 1811, or even possibly clear back down here to lows again. So look for a continuation play on gold. Ethereum, we're extended past the 20, so look for a play back up to this $22 area. If not, the $22 may come back down and meet Ethereum. So that's our stocks, our cryptos, and the levels we're looking at. Definitely stick with us, trade with us, and continue to subscribe so we can continue bringing this content to you. Everybody play safe out there. We'll talk Monday night, see how the trades went for the day, and what we're going to do for the day going forward. So everybody have a great rest of your weekend. Have a great night. We'll talk tomorrow.